The Falls Count Everywhere podcast would like to mention our friends of the following. We Talk Wrestling. For the one stop you need for the most intriguing stories and headlines, and info on independent shows in multiple regions, We Talk Wrestling has you covered. Subscribe to Facebook's #1 interactive community for professional wrestling today. Pro wrestling on Tuesdays are a blast with the Wrestle Talk podcast. Join the Night Owl, DJ Big Sexy, Luke Roberts, The Alpha, Jay Wade, Nightmare Jones, and many others as they bring you the hottest takes on the major circuits, showcase interviews with various indie stars, and the only place to get news on the most popular fantasy wrestling promotion, the FWWC. Catch them every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central. Find all of their media outlets on their website at WrestleTalkPodcast.com.
Before each and every show, we like to remind our audience that freedom is never free, and all of us should be grateful to those who lay it all on the line. To all our first responders, military, and volunteers that help our nation every day, we love you and appreciate the sacrifices you make to protect all of us.
Get ready for episode number 148 of the Falls Count Everywhere podcast, as we welcome the rookie sensation out of the Gulf Coast, dropping rhymes and knowledge on his opposition, right before dropping them on the mat with a unique in-ring style. The rarity, Jack Passion. This podcast is scheduled for one episode, where falls count everywhere.
And good evening, everybody. It is the beginning of June, and we're ready to party just like we have always been. That's right. It is the Falls Count Everywhere podcast, and we are back after taking a break for about, I guess I guess it has been 2 weeks. We did take a break. But man, we enjoyed Memorial Day weekend, and then, now we're back to the grind here. So I am Rough Cut Rick Ruby. Here on the left and to the right, of course, is the Gem City Mouse. Zmiz. And conspicuous by his absence, GQ will not be with us here this evening. Unfortunately, he is down under the weather and is having some problems vocally, believe it or not. So instead of straining his voice, we're
thank God we don't have to listen to him. No, I'm just kidding. GQ, get better. We miss you, brother. Voice text is on. I'm trying to post the show because everyone that's coming in right now should be liking, subscribing, sharing, pushing it out there, because we are Falls Count Everywhere, bringing you some of the greatest young and current talent today, and I cannot wait to talk to the guy we have in the waiting room right now.
Oh yes, absolutely, yeah. And he is actually on his way home from training down at his regular school. So of course, the guy who's
you always got to keep working, right?
Yeah, I always got to keep working, especially when we get into this business. But I mean, I'm into my 29th year now. So, I mean, I'm kind of winding down. But, it is what it is. It is what it is.
It's okay. It's okay. Like I told Douglas O'Shea last time at IEW, Doug, it's time that you slow down a little bit longer, because we still have so much knowledge from guys like you, Douglas O'Shea. I'm even going to say it. I'm going to say it. Sean Vincent, Big Texan. There's so many guys. I'm missing so many dudes too. So don't take it as a knock, anyone. There's so many of you guys that have so much to offer. Myself and a guy like Jack Passion here soon. We're gonna see the passion that he has for this professional wrestling world. But you guys have so much to offer us, and just because you might not be in the ring every night, you still have so much to deliver to us and give us, my friend. So don't cut yourself short yet.
I'm almost getting that Undertaker WrestleMania schedule. That's about how bad it's getting.
Good. It's okay.
I don't know. It's like, man, when are you going to wrestle next? Don't know. I mean, it's actually been few and far between because of all the other different, appearances I make, and then of course how they're.
Maybe you got to do like Mark Henry. Mark Henry had to step down from AEW just recently. We just heard that his contract came available and he chose not to re-sign, right? So that he could go,
Yeah.
So he could go and explore new passions. That's all it is. He has other things that he's looking forward to, looking to pursue in professional. He did show up at MLW at what was it, Riot something? I can't remember. I watched part of it. Yeah.
I mean, if you get the opportunity to show up somewhere else, I mean, why not? I mean, we're about ready to jump into one of our first big things here.
I cannot wait for the. Are we announcing it today? Right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm actually getting things prepped up here to talk about our first subject here because
that's fine.
Once again, WWE is apparently people are going to start praising more on the Paul Levesque era. If we get more than what we're just teased with, and we are going to get next week, and I'm going to go ahead and get this shared right now so people can see what I am talking about. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I'm so happy to see her back. Oh, I'm so pumped.
So, Jordan Grace shows up last Tuesday night on NXT because Roxanne Perez, I'm guessing it was an open challenge or she had someone scheduled and couldn't make it, but either way, Roxanne Perez wanted to know who she was going to be facing in NXT Battleground. Jordan's Grace music hits and that place erupted.
100% it did. It was, man, I was I was sitting on my couch and just marking out. I was like, oh my God, this is so big. This is so huge. Like, we're seeing this. And then the internet just blowing up about all the possibilities that we could see out of something like this and the partnership that we could see of this. Like, you know, they have that little show that they like to call Worlds Collide. Like, Trip, Sean, come on, bro.
Right.
Make it. We need some Joe Hendry.
So, I mean, that was more with NXT and I don't know was with WWE and NXT pretty much on that, or I don't know.
It's been a little bit of like this weird, I don't know. It's been an awkward thing. All I remember is Cesaro and Luke Harper gave us one of the greatest matches on a Worlds Collide. If you ever go out and find that match, because that match was amazing. But Jordan Grace showing up in NXT, and then she's gonna. I can't remember the young lady that she's fighting next or this coming Tuesday.
Oh, that's Roxanne Perez.
No. She's fighting Roxanne at Battlegrounds.
Yeah, next Sunday. Yeah,
this Tuesday she's wrestling.
Oh right, yeah. I sent you this.
Dang it, I can't remember who it is now.
Don't worry, I'll probably find it. I'll find it. I'm sure.
And it's gonna be cool to see, for one, her response within the NXT zone again, or whatever you want to call NXT's little studio.
Yeah.
But she has such a presence to her that is crazy. Like, Rhea Ripley is one of the only other females that has like that aura, that as you would say, it factor. When they come on screen, you're taking notes. You're like, there's other wrestlers. Don't not hear what I'm saying, people. Like, Becky Lynch unfortunately has that. There's so many other wrestlers, and even another person that we'll get to later on, Mercedes Moné. People love her. Like,
yeah,
she has a presence to her. Jordan Grace does, and she carries herself so well. And she's such a beautiful representation of what TNA is supposed to be and what it is becoming again. So to see her in NXT, to see her carrying on what Mickie James kind of started, and we all forget about that. Mickie James was the first Knockouts Women's Champion to kind of make that jump over to WWE and with the title and everything at one of the Royal Rumbles. So, like, for Jordan Grace to continue that process, and now everybody's like, oh God, what else can happen? What else is going to happen? What else is, are we going to see? And there's big rumors that supposedly, and there's guys from WWE that are going to be going, or NXT that may be going to TNA for a stint. And dude, look at the crossovers we could have there. Ziggler, Nick Nemeth being over there.
What do you call him?
It's Nick Nemeth. Mustafa Ali's over there. Like, there's so many guys that are there now that were part of the WWE machine. So, like, all I want to see is Joe Hendry and Josh Alexander. Bring me those guys over. Let Drew McIntyre go over there and beat Moose's. But what happens if Jordan Grace actually wins the NXT title?
Well, so that's the whole thing right here is, and people know, if people know Jordan Grace and what she's done and actually what she's done done throughout her career, because she actually did some work around the Midwest St. Louis area like about 10 years ago before she went off to the East Coast and then back down Southeast and all that. And then she's a competitive bodybuilder. She's not bodybuilder, but weightlifter. She's a competitive weightlifter, dude. And she is breaking records even in her in her class.
Who, Jordan?
Yeah, Jordan Grace is a
100%.
weightlifter.
Yeah, she is crazy.
She's a bona fide badass, dude.
Yeah.
And there are unless there's some other outside sources that are going to interrupt this match. If this is straight 101, I do not see Jordan Grace taking a fall here. I see Jordan Grace holding 2 belts after Sunday night. So I mean,
you're going Jordan right out of the gates. I mean,
dude, think of the performance at the Royal Rumble.
Oh no, I'm not against it. I'm not saying you're wrong by any means.
She was giving people on the main roster a fit.
Oh no, like I said. See, this is another thing right here. What Austin Cage is saying, like, give me Ricochet Ali versus again. Dude, think of those two for the
speed title.
Yes. Okay, so don't bring that damn title up to me. Like, I'm all for tangent right now. Okay, we're gonna go off on one of our little tangents. Okay, so I've been a very big avid viewer of WWE Speed on X, right? So been watching every week, and I really like the concept. I enjoy the concept. I don't understand why we're not having that representation on the main stage. Why is Ricochet coming out not with the champion around his waist? Why is he not holding that title when he's walking to Raw? Like, they talk about it.
I don't get it.
What are you doing? But no.
Title, I mean, and people in NXT carry their titles. Why don't you carry the Speed title? Why?
Because I like the concept. The concept's there. It's a really cool idea and design. It's the championship matches are 5 minutes. The regular matches are 3 minutes. And so far, they've actually been very good storytelling, not stupid crazy like I thought it was going to be. Like, I think you, myself, Herb, and Big Texan all said that, like, if it's real crazy, fast paced, stuff, I don't know, like, because you can't tell a story that in 3 minutes. But they're doing a really good job, actually. It's a really cool concept, and I'm enjoying it because you get that, like, that mid-afternoon, like, hey, here's some wrestling. And it's just cool. So I'm all for it. But I want the title seen on TV, and I think it needs to be represented on TV. And I think they could actually hold some of the matches on TV time. I really do. I think it'd be a cool concept to have a bridge. Yeah.
Bro, there's been short matches on TV before. And yes, represent your title. Hello, Exhibit A right here. I mean, this is, if you're bringing a TNA title to NXT, start wearing the speed belt out, son. Just do something. But here's another thing that do something about it, will you?
You can't see it after PM. That's funny. That's funny. God dang it, Austin.
So,
can we talk about another thing that happened at before we go to this, one other big thing that happened this Tuesday night. One of my all-time favorite indie guys. One of the dudes that I know you're going. Okay, so my buddy AJ and I, this is how I met Austin Cage, actually. My buddy AJ and I went to a Glory Pro show just so we could see the Lucha Bros. That's the whole reason we were in that building. Okay? The whole reason we went into the building was the Lucha Bros. The whole reason I stayed and kept going back is 2 men. We've had one of the men on this podcast with us, and Rohit, thank you again for coming on. If you see this and you stop by, but Rohit Raju was one of them, and all ego, Ethan Page totally whipped that trick and made his presence known in NXT, and it was so good to see one of I absolutely adore this man. He is killer in the ring, killer on the mic, has a good look, has a good physique. And AEW, unfortunately, I like to promote wrestling. I don't like to knock wrestling. But AEW, in my opinion, dropped the ball with him, did not give him... They did do some good work with him. So I can't knock it all together. He was featured for a while, but they dropped the ball after a while with him. And Ethan Page is so good to see you kind of where you belong, in my opinion, brother. So I'm pumped to see that happen.
Yeah, but this is one thing I want to put this thought out here, because we can go on rant forever, but I know we're getting into, because we got an upcoming shows reel coming up, and we don't want to make our guests wait for too long here.
This is a beautiful idea.
Because, I mean, if you're watching right now, think of if you got something in mind, because we're going to come back to this later on in the show.
Forbidden Door what?
Yeah. Later on in the show. Did I say something wrong?
Forbidden Door. Like this, Worlds Collide is... oh my god! I feel like it could be what Forbidden Door is supposed to be for AEW, and this could be the greatest thing ever. And I'm ready for the prohibited. What did Jordan Grace call it? The prohibited. No, she called it the prohibited portal.
Oh, prohibited portal. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Her new shirts. Go get her new shirt. I got mine ordered.
Prohibited portal. Yes,
because Worlds Collide could be something spectacular, and this is like. I have goosebumps just thinking about larger stuff. We had goosebumps not 2-3 weeks ago when we were sitting at SICW FanFest 2 enjoying what could be some of the best stuff that could happen for local wrestling and breathing life into local wrestling. Thank you, Herb Simmons, once again for doing that kind of stuff for the local promotions. But this right here, it just shows you what could possibly be on a larger scale and bigger scale. So everything's clicking all on cylinders, and I'm just I'm literally getting goosebumps right now. I feel like The Rock right now, just getting them goosebumps, just talking about professional wrestling, because it's so freaking exciting to be a fan and be a part of the business right now. So I'm pumped to be here. So
yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, because there, like I said, the possibilities. I feel that the possibilities are going to be endless here.
Ego section.
There you go. So yeah, some possibilities are going to be endless. With that, and we will come back to that, because I think, like I said, there's going to be a lot of discussion here, because let me just say that Vince would have not had this, previously. There's just no way. And now I think we're onto something beautiful in months to come. So that's all I'm going to say at this point, because what we're going to do here right now is we are going to go ahead and take a very short, brief break. For our upcoming shows reel, it's about 1 minute and 45 seconds. So if you got to get something quick to drink, like I said, it's going to be a short commercial. We'll be right back. And then when we come back on, we're going to have our featured guest of the evening, which is Jack Passion. So stick around, guys. And we'll be right back after this reel.
Check out these great shows and appearances coming to a city near you. Saturday, June 8th, World League Wrestling comes to the Harley Race Arena in Troy, Missouri as they present Overdrive. 2 big championship matches have been signed as Tootie Lynn defends the WLW Ladies Championship against Miranda Gordy, and WLW Champion Superstar Steve defends against Camaro Jackson. Doors open at 6 p.m. and bell time is at 7 p.m. Ticket pricing starts at $20. For information on ticket availability and to purchase in advance, visit WorldLeagueWrestling.com. Inhumane Championship Wrestling returns to the Ainley Community Center in Corning, Arkansas with a huge card on Saturday, June 15th. Featured attraction matches on the card include Jennifer Justice squaring off against Lovely Miss Larkin, and new ICW Heavyweight Champion Dwayne Cashman faces the challenge of Danny Ice in a 30-minute Iron Man match. Doors open at 6 p.m. with a bell time of 7 p.m. All tickets are $10. Children 5 and under get it free. Scan the QR code on the poster to get tickets in advance, or for more information, find Inhumane Championship Wrestling on Facebook. New Genesis Wrestling returns to the Lou Civic Center located at 213 North Market Street on Saturday, June 22nd as they present Melee in Mascuda 2. Doors open at 6 p.m. with a bell time of 7 p.m. Don't miss the must-see matches as Lexi Green squares off against Shotzi McKenzie and Chaotic Champ Sid Holland faces the challenge of Gino Told You So Rivera. Adult door prices are $12 and $10 in advance. All kids' tickets are $5. For more information on this event, visit newgenesiswrestling.com. Remember, fans, without you in the seats, there is no wrestling. Make sure you make plans to attend these shows, and we'll see you at ringside.
Yeah.
Time out. Are you telling me right now that dirty Danny Ice, who poked me in the eye when we got out of the vehicle and was a jerk to you right out of the start, got a title shot because of that triple threat that you lost?
No, well, So somehow, somehow he's got a title shot against, So I guess
Dirty Dan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way it happens. And unfortunately, I will not be able to be at that show because I'm with the ACW. And then, of course, hey, what about one of our guests from the past?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Gino Rivera making his debut in NGW.
Yep.
And Little B also told me he's not the only one making his debut.
Ah. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I'll be gracing the microphone on commentary to get rid of that dirty person, Tyler Cooley. You know, because they disrespect him and Guido disrespect Mr. Jason Halbert way too much. And it's about time there'd be some voice of reason put back on that commentary table.
Oh boy. Yeah, it's getting deep in here already. Wow. Real deep. But now I'm just kind of excited because I know where Gino's from, and to make that trip up here.
Oh, it's a distance.
Yeah.
And Sid Holland had the balls to call him out and take his shot. Like, did you see Gino's promo? Did you get to catch Gino's promo?
I'm going to have to take a look at it. But
you'll have to go take a look. He rips into Sid because Sid literally shot his shot. He's like, I want you. I'm going to take you out. I'm going to knock your head off. Sid can do it. I know Sid personally. You know, we all know I know Sid personally. He's a good friend of mine, good chum of mine. Gino's in for a hell of a fight. Like a hell of a fight. But I'm sorry, the Puerto Rican pit bull.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's David and Goliath, man. You just never know. You never know. And Gino has faced a lot of. He's faced guys larger than him on several occasions. So
100%. And you don't mess with somebody that got beat up by a flip flop either.
He's a championship caliber performer. So
100%.
It's not like he's he's got years in the business. He's got a strategy. So I mean, Sid can come at him all he wants, but I'm just saying, speed kills, brother, and it's about to get you down if you're not careful. So
speed kills. Are we a dare at now?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's where I was going with this, my friend. But that is true, though, what I just said. Oh, my God. Holy crap. We are having a blast, as always, here. And for those, once again, we'd like to thank all of our viewers on X that are watching here tonight. Thank you once again. Of course, also with Facebook and
YouTubers. Yeah.
Or one Twitch watcher is apparently taking a nap or something right now.
That's all right.
So it's whatever. But that's where we're at, guys. And like I said, we're going to be doing some revamps in regards to our show. Somewhat, we're going to try to kind of spiff up our look, as you would say, in the coming weeks. So
I can't wait for that announcement.
So nothing's been released yet. When we're ready to release it, it's going to be right here on the show.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
If you want to see it, you're going to have to watch the show to see it. So, oh my goodness. So with that being said, we are ready for our featured guest of the evening. Still traveling though, but of course taking safe precautions as always when you're on the road. He's
definitely the passenger.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's a long Uber ride. So,
Hey, his bill, not mine.
yeah, right. So our featured guest of the evening comes to us from the Gulf Coast and is joining us with us tonight. Only just under a year into the business, but he has got a lot of education and a lot of energy when he brings to the ring. And we're going to bring him on right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, without no further ado, please welcome our guest of the night, Jack Passion, to the studio, everybody. Jack, how you doing?
How you doing, sir?
What's up, fellas? How we doing?
All right, man. Yeah, we just want to make sure that you aren't the passenger here. You're not doing anything like I would do, like eat a taco or drink something while I'm driving. So, you know.
We all know you do lies while you drive.
Yeah. So you're coming back from training here. We're going to get into that here in a little bit. But how many times you're able to train a week down where you're at?
Yeah, so we train every Sunday and Tuesday from 6 to 8 o'clock out in Theodore, Alabama.
Okay, right, Theodore, Alabama. That's right. And you're so in the spot where you're at and where you trained is our same time zone. It's pretty close to that. I don't know how close you are to the Eastern timeline, but I was like, oh man, he's in that west tip of Florida, very west tip.
Yeah, right on the panhandle over here. We are right at Floribama. That's basically what it feels like down here.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So yeah, but we're going to go ahead and get into this here now. Hey, Z, have you noticed if I don't know if it's just me, but I don't know if his microphone's a little bit fuzzy or.
Yeah, we got an echo, but we'll make it through. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay,
we'll make it through.
We'll make it through. Okay. It might get better though once he reaches his destination too. It might. You know.
How's that? Is it a little better now?
Don't worry, Jack. We got you, buddy.
That's all right.
Don't let we are. I grew up in the music industry. He does a production on other things. So we both just have a stupid ear for that kind of stuff. So it's not you, buddy. It's us.
I'm a tech bully. I'm trying not to pick on you, man. My bad. So
hey, listen, man, I can take it. If it's me, it's me. It's all good.
No, because I don't want you to burn me in a rap battle, bro.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that.
Dude, I was enjoying all those videos you sent us over to like study up and all this stuff and watch them, and then I went and watched a bunch of other stuff of his. Dude, you for only being a year in the business. Before we get into the questions, dude, you have me entertained. So hats off, my brother.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I mean, that's the goal, right? We go out there, we just try and entertain the fans and everybody that loves to enjoy professional wrestling, and that's what I want to go out and do every time. I want to give people 100% and give it my all, and hopefully they can reciprocate the energy that I'm giving to them, and we can put that back and forth between the fans and the wrestlers every time. I love to do it. I want people to know that I love to do it, and I just want to share my love for the wrestling business just like the fans love it. So
beautiful.
There you go. Give them something to enjoy, something to remember. At least that's what our goal should be.
That's right. Because at the end of the day, it's really not about what you say; it's about how you make people feel.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. Right? Actually.
Absolutely. So with me getting this started off here, because we usually like to kind of get a little bit of background on how at least how professional wrestling got into your life, like how it got started, like when did you start watching it? About what age were you, and who were the people that actually got you to watch wrestling, and who were your favorites that you usually tended to gravitate toward, and who you liked watching the most?
Absolutely. So my introduction to pro wrestling was actually an accident. So back in 2004, my mom had a Jeep that had one of the DVDs that flipped down from the top. And she brought me and my brother random DVDs that were sometimes bootleg, sometimes legitimate, but this one was real. And it happened to be a copy of WrestleMania 20. And I had never seen wrestling. So when I popped it in, and the very first person that I saw pop up was John Cena versus the Big Show for the United States title.
Yep.
I fell in love with it. I mean, listening to the reaction from the people and seeing how John and Big Show moved around the ring and worked together to tell a story and entertain the fans, it hooked me right in. So Cena has been one of my biggest influences up until this point. From an in-ring perspective, one of my favorites has been Randy Orton. I mean, that guy, the way he moves and operates around the ring, he is absolutely one of the most fluent performers that I've ever seen in my lifetime. The other two that I've taken inspiration from are Shawn Michaels and Brock Lesnar. I think that those two guys, the charisma and in-ring ability of Shawn and the ability to tell a story is unlike anybody I've ever seen. And the intensity and speed at which Brock would move around the ring was always captivating to me. So I've tried to kind of take a little bit from all these guys that I've seen and try to make it my own character per se. So I just take a little bit from what I see that works in the wrestling business from those people and others as well. And I just try and be the best version of Jack Passion that I can be from those guys that I've seen in the ring.
Yeah, well, absolutely, because you're taking a mix of everything just to create your own style. And we heard that Randy was one of your favorites here. And if you haven't met GQ, this is our other third co-host.
Yeah.
He was actually Randy was.
God, I hate that photo.
Weeks ago. So
I love and I hate that photo.
That's a great photo.
Screw you, GQ. I'm looking away.
Yeah, he's a little bitter because we were like calling off because we did a live broadcast here 2 weeks ago at the SACW Fan Fest 2 here in St. Louis, and he went and played hooky and was getting all these shots with all the guys.
Because Randy was there to induct his dad into the St. Louis Hall of Fame, and what a beautiful moment it was. Actually, Randy didn't steal the show. It was totally Nathan.
Oh, yeah, his brother is funny as hell.
But it was a good night, and I myself are a massive Randy Orton fan. You said two guys that are whoa, where'd you go? Bring it back.
There we go.
It's all right. So I'm not much of a Shawn Michaels or John Cena guy. I respect both of them, and
I'm so sorry, fellas. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You must be crossing state lines or something. I mean,
Yeah,
you said you're in Alabama, right?
Yeah, I'm right now. I'm down in Florida, right on the coast, so we're right by the water. So it might drop. There's nothing I can do about it. I apologize.
But I have a love and respect for Shawn Michaels and John Cena. John Cena is one of the guys that I love to hate. So, like, I am a Cena suck kid from day one. And it's just fun. And Orton's always been my guy. And Brock's our Lord and our Savior.
Right. You know what's amazing about that when you say that, though? The whole, like, people will chant for Cena and they'll say Cena sucks. At the end of the day, you're giving him a reaction. And
100%, yeah.
Right. You can call him polarizing, whatever you want, but the guy knows how to get people engaged in the product that he's trying to put out, what the company's putting out. And in my eyes, there's nobody that's ever done it better than him.
He's the guy that didn't have to turn heel because he was already a heel but a babyface at the same time. Like, he was both. How can you not like or respect the man? He was literally both at one time. Nobody's done that. Not to my knowledge. Like, to have the crowd split that much, man, yeah, I get it. I'm not, his little brother Josh Cena would say different things.
Right. But every time he's going to go out there, he's going to get that reaction, and he's going to sell merch, and he is going to make every city that he goes into exciting no matter what he does. And I think that's the ticket right there. You go in, you get that reaction, you have people buy into it, whether it's just tickets or paying for merchandise. And that company worked off that guy and his work ethic for, 15, 20 years until he decided to slow down and then went on to other things. And even to this day, every time he comes back now, it's almost unanimous applause and approval because of the amount of work and time that he put in. Because now people understand the level of dedication that it took for him to be on top and stay on top for so long. And that is not an easy thing to do, but John Cena did it. And he did it at the highest level. So, hats off to him. That's a one-of-one kind of individual right there.
Well, some of the aspect that you get to bring to professional wrestling is you have like this background in athleticism That's crazy, dude. Football, lacrosse, basketball, gymnastics, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. How did these activities outside of professional wrestling help, with abilities inside? And what kind of abilities did you take from each one of those sports to make Jack Passion a thing?
So the thing that I took from all of them is I learned how to control my body, and I know what I physically can and can't do in the ring. So there are things that I see people that will do off the top rope, or they'll do dives out of the ring, and I'll go, okay, that's cool. And I respect the fact that you can do that. But if I tried that, it's not going to be nearly as good as if I try to do something on the ground, or I work a hold, or throw a punch, or a drop kick, whatever it is. I know my body and I know what I can do. And there are things that I know that look good. And there are things that with time I know will look great. But all those different sports and all those different activities gave me the confidence to know what I can and what I can't do in the ring. I think that's important for everybody, because you don't want to go in there and then try something or work on something and then go out and try and execute it in front of a live audience of people and go, oh, well, I slipped or I dropped this guy on his head. You want to make sure that you know your body and you know your limitations. And then once you know that, you can go out there and execute and put on a good show pretty much every single time if you know who you are and what you're capable of doing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And then on top of that, you actually have, I think there's probably a question later on, but you actually have ballet and stuff too, don't you?
Yeah, so I've danced, I've been in theater. I'm an actor to this day. I've been doing it for almost 20 years. So being in front of people and public speaking and performing, this is nothing new to me. It's just adding the physical aspect of it and learning the craft and just putting those two things together. This is turning into the greatest thing that I've ever been a part of or ever experienced. And anybody that has gotten into the business understands the work and dedication that goes into performing at a high level in professional wrestling. And I'm in this to be the best. I mean, if you're in this for any other reason to be a weekend warrior, whatever they want to call it, then you're not doing it for the right reasons. I am in this to show people that if you work hard enough and you commit yourself to something, you can be great at it. And hard work will always beat talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Yeah, I mean, very well said. I totally agree, and because I know, at least I know when I trained back. I mean, because I actually had an advantage because I was actually bumping in my own backyard on a freaking foam mat with nothing to break the. I'm bumping on grass, so I mean, that's all I had. And then, which gave me more incentive just to kind of work on other aspects of my entire character, and then focus on the main things of what I need to do as a wrestler, professional wrestler, I should say. So,
hit stop.
Jump out of the car. Sorry, fellas.
No, you're good, brother.
Oh, you're good. Okay. Yeah. For some reason that audio is getting me every time.
This is a part of the business that people need to see. Like you're a hustling young guy in the business, wanting to get in it. Ruby and I've been on car rides. I mean, I've only been in the business 4 or 5 years now, so I understand it. I see it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Hey man, I forgot. I'll see you later. Thank you. Sorry, fellas. Okay.
No, you're good.
Yeah, thank you, Uber driver. Yeah, thanks for
5 stars. 5 stars.
So
stars all day.
So it's funny. So I currently carpool and I drive with Scott Armstrong, WWE referee for a long time, been in the business for over 40 years.
Nice.
He's my ride to and from training. So it's pretty.
That was Scott.
Cool. Yeah, that was Scott and 2 of our other trainees. Yeah.
Wait a minute, we were in the same car with Scott Armstrong, bro.
Yeah.
We gotta remove this guy off here.
every Sunday and Tuesday we ride together, and to be able to pick his brain and get to know him. I mean, Scott is just an incredible human being, and he has really turned myself and other people we thought we had an interest in doing this and turning this into a career. And Scott Armstrong has came in and given us a real opportunity to turn professional wrestling into a career. And
he has been nothing but a godsend, and I'm nothing but grateful to that man. He's just been incredible.
I mean, he's a good one to listen to, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The best.
So Z, you were talking when we were talking a couple weeks ago about Gerald Briscoe, what he did late in his career as being a stooge with Pat Patterson. Same thing with Scott Armstrong when he was like the preferred referee of the Authority.
Yes, that stuff was amazing. Like, what are you talking about? He's one of those guys. Like, okay, so in today's wrestling, people get upset, that so much light's getting put on like Samantha Irving and some of these great talents that aren't professional, aren't the wrestlers themselves. Pat McAfee gets praised all the time for being, and we're even doing it now to Michael Cole, which is beautiful. So and it goes on from there. Nigel McGuinness would be another one that I just on the mic alone. But Scott Armstrong was one of those wrestlers that you kind of looked forward to being in the ring with the wrestlers because you knew like he was going to add a little bit of extra sugar to the top of the cake. So I almost did the F-bomb early.
I was going to say, I didn't know. Is this a family-friendly program? Are we allowed to curse here? What's the rules here?
We try to keep it clean, but we have an ongoing joke that like at least one F-bomb gets done every show. So if it happens, it happens. But we try to keep it clean.
Okay, just making sure.
It's usually GQ or I, or the guest.
Yeah, I come from an Italian background, so sometimes we just say what's on our mind. So sometimes we just drop the bombs left and right. And there's this way we apologize. Hey, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. I'll say that.
Yeah, I'm a loose-tongued son of a gun. Like I'm gonna fly off the handle. It's gonna happen. Why do they think they call me to the Gym City Mouth? Come on.
Yeah. So we're gonna get on an opinion basis on you. As a fan, obviously you've watched this for about 20 years. So, with all the wrestling that you've watched to this point, if you could pick out a top 3 of the best matches you've seen all time between the major brands, what would you consider the best 3 matches you've seen of all time?
Do you want me to go 3, 2, 1 or 1, 2, 3? How do you want me to do it?
3, 2, 1. Yes. Start at the bottom if you could.
So. Sure. So at number 3, I would put Mick Foley versus Randy Orton at Backlash for, I believe that is one of my favorite all-time Randy Orton matches. That's an incredible match. The toughness that was shown throughout that competition was very inspiring, and seeing Orton take that bump on the tax is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. But his
sell of it is something that's amazing.
Brilliant. And that's something that's always been great with Orton. I've always looked up to is his ability to, and again, people will complain about everything. They'll say he's too slow, this or that. I look at the facial expressions and the character work of a guy like that. And I think that Randy Orton, in my opinion, is the greatest of all time when it comes to selling little things like that in the ring. I mean, the guy was so meticulous and so methodical and really didn't have to put his body through all the other craziness that some of the other men and women have to do in order to get over. And I think a guy like that just shows that even with the tiniest little expressions, you can make a world of difference in a company like WWE. I mean, look at what Roman Reigns has been doing for the past 4 years. I mean, right. The little things that he does with his face, it shows exactly what he's feeling and what the character's motivations are, and it just gives you a glimpse into the mind of Roman Reigns. And I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to incorporate that into your performance. The second greatest match of all time would probably be Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 21.
That's one.
And one of the biggest reasons is now when you see wrestling in the way it's done now, a lot of wrestling will revolve around doing high spots or gimmick matches. These two guys went out for a half hour and focused on holds for the majority of the match, and they broke out the cool stuff later on, and they told a phenomenal story. But leading up to that point, I believe it was Shawn was targeting the head and had a hold of his head for like 10 to 15 minutes, and Angle worked on the body and focused on the back, and equally told the story right up until the ending, why those things mattered in the beginning. The holds and the selling And making people believe in the little things will make the big moments later on in the match even more spectacular. And when it comes from a storytelling perspective, those two are absolutely two of the greatest of all time. And I don't even think it's close. The number one match to me would be Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25.
That was the first one, right?
That's the first one.
That's number one, yes. In my opinion, the greatest WrestleMania match in my lifetime. Again, I started watching at WrestleMania 20, so everything prior to that, I've had to go back and watch and rewatch some of those moments. But seeing it for the first time live, watching those two go out there and tell a story that I don't think anybody else could have told, and had a match that kept people captivated from bell to bell, I think is a very special thing. And I think those two deserve all the credit in the world for being able to entertain at the level that they've been able to do it, and on the stages they've been able to do it. The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels are two of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, and those two went out on the grandest stage of them all, and they showed everybody exactly why they are two of the greatest. So I think those are my top three in order.
I don't know if I could actually put three together.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's why, we can do top 10 lists. Like, no, man, we don't want to be here all night. But, I mean, that's why we narrowed it down just to the top three. And I'm glad that you had those just picked out, because like I said, you don't know any of the questions we're coming at you with. So, I mean, but we always like to take care of our guest in a way. So we're not going to, don't worry, you're not going to come out with egg on your face. So
see, you got me wanting to debate now. Damn.
I got a different top three.
No, his is actually pretty close. The only how he was describing Shawn versus Kurt Angle is kind of how I feel about Macho Man versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at WrestleMania 3. Is how well that match arced and went up and down and just kind of flowed. Because like I said, I don't know if I can pick just three matches, man. I really don't know if I can. I would have to probably sit this one out because there's so many just great things. Like JBL versus Eddie Guerrero, that bull rap match. I will always go back and watch that match. I will always watch that match. It's one of my favorites.
Two guys, very, very violent, a very physical match, and two guys that committed to what they were doing. And everybody was involved and invested. And look what it did. It left a lasting impact on you. And that's the best part about all of this. It impacts you in a way that you can only talk about and enjoy with other people who enjoy professional wrestling. It's the greatest form of live entertainment. And it's just given us so many great, happy memories. It's the best thing in the world.
I am that walking meme of that guy that talks wrestling with just anybody. I am that person. but talking more about wrestling, and there's all these different crazy styles, and we're talking about how Shawn and Kurt did their stuff, but there's strong style, there's the brawlers, there's the cruiserweights, all that kind of stuff. But you classify yourself as a hybrid brawler. Give us a little deep dive into that mentality and why and how you built that kind of style for yourself.
Yeah, so I believe that I can step into the ring with any grown man and have a legitimate fight and come out on top. So I don't have to do all the flips and all the high flying stuff that a lot of people think that is necessary to get over in this business. I think that I have begun to develop a style that can keep me grounded. But when the time comes and is necessary, I'll break out any move in this industry, and I'll do it better than anybody else. There's not one thing physically that you've seen on television or seen in a match that I can't do. It's just finding the right time to do it. So my style is more grounded, and I very much enjoy inflicting punishment when I can. But if there's a moment in time where I have the opportunity to break out something that maybe people haven't seen in years, or maybe haven't seen from a guy my size, then maybe I'll do something special for the fans. But to go out and do that kind of stuff every single night and put my body on the line at this stage of my career, it just doesn't make sense. But if there's ever an opportunity to do it in front of more people and conserve my own physical well-being for those bigger moments, then I'll do that. But right now, I'm just focused on being a good, grounded professional wrestler, and the flashy stuff will come later in time. I don't base my arsenal around big flashy moves. like just this past weekend, I was in Tennessee for Tennessee Championship Wrestling. People haven't seen me do a lot of different things. For the first time, I broke out the Rolling Thunder, made famous by Rob Van Dam. Broke out a standing moonsault done by hundreds of other people in the past. All kinds of things that if you were to see me walk to the ring and make my entrance, you go, okay, this guy's he's just another gimmick. He's just another guy rapping on the microphone. But I am truly so much more than a one-hit wonder. And I am so excited for people to see what I've got in store. And I don't know how high I can go in this business, but I don't see the ceiling. And I'm very much looking to see how far we can take this thing.
I hope more young guys are watching us or end up watching us, because I what you just said, like, as one of the new guys in the business and just now grinding my teeth trying to make my way through it, and all I do is sit here behind a microphone. That's it. Like, you do really the hard work. I just try to put the sugar on top to make it look even better, right? But for all the young guys like us that are busting our asses to get through this business and find a way, man, you put everything in one box on how I feel, and you said it way better than I could ever said it. So keep doing it, man, because and you're not a one-hit wonder. You actually have way better raps, in my opinion, than John Cena. Like, your shit was pretty funny, dude. Like, that rap battle, I can't remember who it was.
That was with Buzzsaw Benelli.
Yes, that stuff. He was good too, but like, you two going back and forth was hilarious.
Yeah, he had to whip out the index cards though. He wasn't ready.
I would need those. I'm sorry.
He challenged me. He was the one who challenged me to the rap battle, and I said, "Are you sure you want to do this? Dude, because I do this all day." So
that stuff was so much fun, dude. So good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, that was a fun moment. That was a fun first of my career. I mean, him and I had our first arm wrestling contest just the other weekend. Another first for the company that I'm currently working for. The first rap battle in the company's history. I want to continue to do the first, and I want to continue to do them better than anybody else. So,
go ahead, finish what you.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I want to continue to do the best version of the first version, so then everybody after that can go, oh, that was really good. How can I make that better? Because that's what I want to do. I want to look at everybody that's in front of me currently in the wrestling business and go, okay, they're up here. How do I match that and then get past them, and then look at the next person that's above me? And you just keep finding new ways to elevate and evolve in this business and trying to stay relevant. And that's all I want to do. I want to find a way to stay relevant, evolve, and make a name for myself in wrestling.
But okay, I'm glad, because I actually want to see you go farther, because you're I'm not lying when I say you were fun to watch, because you remind me of, like, so MVP and Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy's not one of my favorites, but I enjoy him. He is my favorite of the Hardy Boys. But him and MVP's feud, where they're going back and forth and doing all like or even Scott Steiner versus Triple H when they were doing like the weightlift stuff, like those little promo vignette things that they do, that adds so much more dynamics to when you guys actually touch in the ring and have that, fight, that actual build up and everything. And then you get to tell the story of like how all that kind of played into the match. So it's just adding on to the character, and that's the stuff that people forget and miss the mark on sometimes, is just how you connect all the pieces together to get to the final product.
Right. Everybody wants a hot shot of, I want it now. I want the big move now. I want the big moment now. I want the match now. The weapons, the blood, the violence, they all want it right now. But what professional wrestling truly is down to its core is the story. And if you can tell a good story and get people invested and get them to come back and want more from the performers and the athletes that go out and entertain people, then you have a winning product. But if you just go out there and say, hey, go have a wrestling match with nothing behind it, no story, no character, sure, there are going to be some people who like that video game style of wrestling. And hey, different strokes for different folks. We don't knock anybody. It's just like listening to music. You may like hip hop and metal, and I like jazz and Broadway. That doesn't make either one of us right or wrong. We just have different tastes in music and different tastes in art. And at the end of the day, art is subjective. So I think if you can go out there and give people something more than just straight up wrestling in the ring, you will get more people that are not just wrestling fans to invest. You'll get people from all walks of life. And at the end of the day, we want everybody to enjoy professional wrestling, everyone, because there's a whole untapped market of people that have either seen wrestling or given it a try, not committed. But how do you get the people who have either seen it or maybe never heard of it and make them into a fan? And not just as kids. How do you get the people who are 18 to 49 years old, new fans in professional wrestling? Well, you give them story, you give them value, you give them characters they can believe in. And I think that the more you do that across the board in the wrestling business, the more that the people who are in the business will value and they'll gain from it. And I think that's the most important thing in the world, is finding a way for everybody who works as a professional wrestler in this business to make money and work together to entertain the fans.
I mean, you can't hear me argue. Mr. Herb Simmons, who's in here, owner of SICW, him and his crew just yesterday were at, what is it? I'll rename it. It was NASCAR. I can remember that part. What was the name of it?
It was a Melee at the Midway, and it was the Busch Series at the Enjoy Illinois 300, and they were there all day. They had a couple shows going on, but it emerged in the world of NASCAR and
Ludacris rap.
Ludacris
so they had a whole it was like a whole mishmash of like people and individuals. And then, this past week we saw, I don't like her, I don't even know who she is, but Sexy Red, who gave them, it was like some 12.3 billion clicks or something on X for her appearance. So like, as much as I didn't care for it, I'm happy that WWE is getting that much viewer, and hopefully newer fans are coming in. So SICW is killing it. What you're talking about is that same thing, bringing in the new eyes, the new individuals, and even some of the old individuals maybe going, oh shit, this is still cool.
Right. You have to find it in any company, professional wrestling. You have to find a way to get people engaged and get them to care. And if Sexy Red or Ludacris get people to care about the product that you're trying to put out, then hey, put them out there, get that rating, get that pop, get the clicks, but get the attention of people who don't normally invest or look into professional wrestling. And maybe you get one person, but then that one person becomes two, and then it multiplies, and you continue to build a new fan base of people that will invest long-term in your product. And even short-term, even if it's short-term, now they'll be willing to open their pockets to WWE. I mean, what about if they come out and they have a Sexy Red t-shirt or a mug or slippers or whatever it is, and they right, just something. But from a business perspective, you have to capitalize on the eyeballs that are coming in because of this person that you brought in as whatever role that they're playing. So you and I may not understand it because I don't listen to that kind of music, and like you said, you don't listen to that, but there clearly is an audience for that. So whether it's in the long term, the short term, sell what you got to sell, get the rating that you got to get, and then you move on to the next thing that's hot. And that's it. You don't stick with one thing for your entire career, whether it's from a wrestling standpoint or a business standpoint. You have to find a way to grow and evolve. So, hey, they're trying to do it right now.
Oh, Mr. Terry.
Oh, geez, give Lil Wayne a break.
Didn't Mark Henry just who was it? They did an Undertaker remix. He was just at a nightclub and they're playing Undertaker music. So Mark Henry's at a nightclub. They're playing Undertaker and they did a remix to his theme song. I can't remember who it was with or what the DJ was doing, but Mark Henry's just jamming out on stage with it. So yeah, it's different strokes for different folks. I'm all for it. I love to see the blend in the immersion. And like I said, I don't care for it, and she's not very sexy to me, but whatever. Like, somebody likes it, I respect it. Like, she brought super eyes to the TV, and we're still, like, right now, it's been, 5 days since then, and we're still talking about it, so it happened.
Yeah. So on the getting back on to the with you going through school and everything, okay, So currently, I mean, you're in the wrestling business now. You've been in for about a year, and we know that you. So obviously now we know that you travel up and down the road with Scott Armstrong to and from with the training facility. Is there any other wrestler or veteran on top of what Scott's giving you? Like, is there anybody else that's giving you any type of advice? And between all of them, what is the best piece of advice that has helped you the most so far today?
So Scott has been the most prominent one, I would say. I mean, there are other veterans in this business who are along the coast that have given me small pieces of advice here and then. I would say the biggest thing from everybody that I've come across is breathe and don't rush anything and listen to the crowd, because everybody wants to, they call it the rookie rush. And I felt like I had that in my first 5 or 6 months. And then I had an opportunity to have a match with somebody. He's a veteran. His name is Zane Stevens. And we went out there, and I was so nervous because I'd never wrestled a veteran in front of people before. It had all been other people who had been in the business for about anywhere from 2 to 5 years. And this was the first guy that I'd stepped into the ring with over 20 years experience. And I went out there, and between himself, the referee, the crowd, I just learned how to listen to everybody all at once and not just rush everything, and also learning how to breathe in those moments and go, okay, I'm safe. I know where I'm at. I know the person that I'm working with. We can make something happen here. But having never been in that position before, I had no idea what I was doing. But after coming out of that, I feel like since that moment, I'm a much different performer, and I can read the room and I can listen to people, and I don't try and rush anything, because if you just continue to rush everything, then you lose it in translation. And I don't want anything that I do to get lost in translation. I want people to care about every little thing that I do in that ring. And I think that's been the biggest lesson for me, is just take your time, take a deep breath, listen to the audience, and do what you can to get the best reaction from the crowd that you possibly can. And that involves listening and taking your time.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. It's always best to get the reaction any way possible, but I think you know, constant high spots and not paying attention to your audience is not going to be good. But you know, you want to make sure you're getting the audience involved as well, and keep them intrigued, keep them involved. I would say keep them involved is what you
right.
Keep you know.
Don't ignore the people that you once were. And I've seen a lot of people that will go out to that ring and they will perform, and they will just focus on wrestling their opponent and not listening to the crowd. But without the crowd, right? But without the crowd, you're not wrestling your opponent. So you have to acknowledge them. You have to let them know that you hear them and that you understand what they want, but also telling your own story. Like, the way Scott Armstrong describes to me is, we are the chefs and they will eat whatever we serve them. And it's our job to prepare the dish and then serve it. And it's important to serve that dish and then listen to the feedback while you're serving it as well. So it's a lot of give and take. And I feel like sometimes people will just go out there and they just want to wrestle and do all these cool moves, but it's so much more than that. It really is. And at the highest level, I mean, you look at some of these matches that they've got going on right now in WWE, and the first 3.5, 5 minutes of a match will just be holds. And you see with a lot of independent wrestling today, they don't focus on the holds. They focus on the high spots, and they focus on the weapons and the violence and the gore of professional wrestling, which, again, for some people, that's what they want out of this business. But I think the majority of people that enjoy this, they want a good story. They want coherent characters that make sense. And they want work in the ring that they can see and understand and digest.
Exactly. Don't bring a backyard product into a building where promoters has paid a good amount of money to rent out for the night and do that garbage.
Exactly.
And it doesn't sell or get over. So, my goodness. And like I said, we're the chefs. We got to feed them, and hopefully they take it, and hopefully we get a good rating from it, or at least get feedback here. So I think that's almost about a perfect segue to go into what we're going to do next here, Z.
Oh, I'm pumped for it.
Yeah, I think
always
so
fun
too.
for it, though.
So every weekend we usually like to have our guests involved with this, but we're going to be serving up something here because like I said, us in the business, we give and take, we heckle each other, and it's all in good fun. But this week we are back with another edition of Wrestling's Gold Memes. Everybody, that's right. It is Wrestling's Gold Memes, and if I can get something, thank you, Restream, to finally share my stuff. Thank you very much. Everybody's on vacation apparently when we go off for a week. But anyway, so Wrestling's Gold Memes, and we're going to start off here tonight here, because we're always a critic, and some of our older guys here, we're critics here. But the look of disappointment you get when someone else uses your finisher wrong.
At least it's not Goldberg. I didn't realize how disappointed he actually looked.
I know. Yeah.
Is he mad at Natalia or Charlotte for doing it wrong?
Well, I mean, that's Charlotte with her back turned, and he can't even look at Charlotte. That's how bad. That's how bad it is.
It's terrible. Quite funny, actually.
Yeah, that's why you never see me doing standing back moonsault, because I don't want to break my neck. Anyway,
that's a whole lot of man to do a back moonsault, buddy.
All it takes is one. I've seen too much on the internet, so I'm scarred. Let's see. What's our? Oh my goodness, you're probably gonna get a little kick out of this here, Z. When the couple on vacation buying you drinks starts giving you this look.
The worst thing about this is my wife and I have actually had this offer. This is a real thing that actually tried to happen once, and we were both like, "Nuh-uh, Not Jim Cornette, by the way.
Oh, poor Corny. I love him though, man. I see him too much on Dark Side of the Ring, but but no, I think Cornette's he's still got a good mind for the business. I do.
I would like to see him come back as a manager, but that's just me.
Well, well, Vince is gone. I don't know if that makes any difference or not. We'll see.
I mean, if Paul Orndorff can, why not?
Yeah, why not? So our next slide, it's basically going to be a slide presentation here, but there is a group on. This was taken about a month back after WrestleMania happened. For the group is called Wrestling is Dead on Facebook on best WrestleMania matches here, and they did like a poll in which superstar had the best matches. So number one, HBK of 66%.
Fair.
Then, well, this was early in the poll, by the way. Number two was Steve Austin at 28%.
It must not. What? That's not even right.
Yeah. Now, number two, I'm going to skip down to, because there's only 4 choices here. I'm going to skip to number 4. Okay. And that is at a whopping 2%, Chris Jericho. But here's the kicker.
Why did you use that picture?
You like that hair?
Such an underrated time for him.
Oh my God, that hair was best when he was with Ralphus.
Oh, that stuff was great.
So, who got a better rating than Chris Jericho with best WrestleMania matches ever? Sting at 3%.
That doesn't what?
Match.
Yeah, wasn't his only WrestleMania match against Triple H at
What was that,
31, right?
Yeah, this is only one. Yeah, I don't. Was it 31? It was 31, right, Ruby?
Yeah,
or if you're still in the building, I mean, this makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of all Stone Cold's matches.
Oh my gosh.
I love the story that Chris Jericho talks about how during him and Kevin Owens' feud, when they do the best friend stuff and all that stuff, and they had the WrestleMania match, that Vince McMahon literally told Kevin Owens right to his face, that's the worst WrestleMania match ever. So,
oh yeah, I remember that whole 360 with Kevin Owens. Yeah. I still like the clip of Brock Lesnar just throwing the belt at McMahon as soon as he came back on the gorilla.
But it's not a hostile work environment like Tony.
We just get a little tip at times. That's all. Jack, you're gonna like this next one here. I don't know if we might have done this before, but we're gonna bring it here tonight. But realism at its finest, amazing. It's a John Cena figure.
He looks great.
And that's so beautiful.
That's as realistic as I've ever seen him. Look at that. That's incredible.
Is it still $9.10 or it's $10?
It's a Big Lots clear out
$10. I mean, I'd probably still buy it because there's a collector that's truly sealed.
Yeah, it's sealed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that could be auctioned off one day. That's incredible.
Keep that in the package. It's gonna be worth something someday. You know.
I had a misprint Ric Flair that I sold for $400. Just saying. So they do sell very highly, like the misprints.
My dad back in the day, this was WrestleMania 22. My dad got me a figurine of Eddie Guerrero, and I never took it out of the box, and I don't know where it is. I'm gonna have to ask him if he still has it. But that's got to be worth something now, right? A limited edition Eddie Guerrero figure that's never been unboxed. It's got to be worth something.
Oh yeah.
It's a hit and miss. I'm a fig guy, so like it is a hit and miss. But like your misprints, so my Ric Flair, the misprint had Rey Mysterio boots on him.
Oh, well, that's not right.
It went for $400 on auction. So
wow,
you can do it.
And let's see. Now for our last one here, you might have mentioned his name here just a bit ago here, Z, but I don't think we've got a chance to show this yet. But
the best crowd sign ever. The best crowd sign ever. Goldberg eats corn long ways.
And you know it's the truth too. See, there's photo proof.
Oh my goodness.
That's for you, Brett. That's for you. We believe in you.
Oh my.
How is it like two muscle-bound, like bald dudes became the laughing stock of professional wrestling? Him and Ryback. It's been 6 months. That's all I'm saying. Ryback, you retired.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. We don't need to bring him up. It's pretty savvy when you block 22 We get block over 22,000 users on X. That's pretty sad, bro.
I'm one of them. I am one of them, and I am proud to be one of them.
I think he had nothing better to do.
I think Austin Cage is too, if not mistaken.
Yeah, look.
But yet you mentioned him.
I totally agree with that, but oh my God.
I'm sorry. I'm going to keep making fun of him until I either get beat up by him or he blocks me from life.
Yeah, but those are the memes for this week. So we'll have some. Well, we should have some more gold for you next week on that.
I love golden memes.
That's good for you. It's good for you.
That's the best part about being like in the business and a wrestling fan at the same time. Is like I love making fun of wrestling at the same time as like supporting all the good stuff that happens in wrestling. So like because you can't have one without the other, really. You really can't. I still wish that somebody would do, and this is going to be out there for y'all. We need a Mystery 3000 for professional wrestling. And if you don't know what Mystery Theater 3000 is, go look it up because it's great stuff. But it's the reason I love B movies. We need that for professional wrestling. Where they watch just an indie match or something or old match that just might not have went as well as it should and just roast it. I think that'd be hilarious. And I would be okay with it just being the wrestlers doing it. So Triple H, there's an idea for you. Make it happen because I think it would be hilarious. But now, coming away from go ahead.
I was going to say here real quick because I know Jack, you're in your first year, and hopefully this goes well for you. It seems like it's a great gimmick, but Don't be ever like somebody like this who had to take this for first year as a gimmick.
I thought we weren't going to see that photo today.
Yeah.
Who is this?
That's Rick.
This is me in 1997. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So,
Could you see the joy in his face?
Yeah. Well, I was everything ticked me off. I was the heel, so you know.
Oh my, yeah, real rock and roll.
Yeah, like you said, nothing like looking like Rick and Morton's stepchild.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm still partial to GQ having that actually become a thing. So that would be cool to me. But now getting back on track and being a little more serious, and this is a serious subject because not only are you in professional wrestling, living your dream and doing that, you're a full-time student in career in studentry. And education, all that stuff, and pursuing that. How is your accomplishment in education, and like what are some of the things that you've gone to school for and pursued in that world, and how is it helping you within the business that is professional wrestling?
Absolutely. So I've been studying broadcast journalism and strategic communication and leadership out here on the coast, and those things have really helped me establish the reasons as to why I do certain things. So in basic journalism, some of the questions that you need to be asked immediately are the who, what, when, where, why, and how. And if you can, whether it's writing a promo or putting a match together, whatever it is, if you can establish those significant things and have clear context for all of them, you can make anything work. And I've just tried to incorporate what I've learned from journalism into professional wrestling, and it seems to be working out pretty well as of right now. Currently right now, I'm taking public speaking classes, learning about social media, PR, advertising, marketing, branding, and doing everything I can through school to turn professional wrestling into a full-time career. So I'm not going to school necessarily for any one thing in particular. I'm looking to take my classes and the skills that I take from those classes and apply them directly into professional wrestling.
I mean, and really, in all honesty, you're taking advantage now of doing it versus guys like Xavier Woods, Austin Creed. You know, Austin did it in WWE and Nikki Cross did the same thing. They busted out schoolwork in WWE. So you're knocking off things now, and that's an inspiration. You guys that do that kind of stuff, I am not a school guy. I'm not a book kid whatsoever. I've had to scratch, crawl, and learn it the whole fashioned way of you did it wrong, do it right this time kind of thing. And that's cool. Everybody has their way of learning, right? But it's something to be commendable that you're taking that passion for your education, not only to pursue professional wrestling to a farther extent, but you have a backup plan, brother. And that's awesome. And that's the first thing we need to think about when you're getting into professional wrestling is you got to have that backup plan. You got to have that 9 to 5, as everybody says, and that other idea. So commending. Hats off.
Thank you. My dad says it best. In order to pursue the dream, you have to have a career. And if you're lucky enough to turn the dream into a career, that's great, but you can't bank on it. So you have to find a way to formulate some kind of foundation and base for your life and then build on it from there. And professional wrestling is not the base. It's just being supported by the base that I'm still building every day.
Now, hypothetically, if for some reason wrestling doesn't pan out, unfortunate injury, etc., something in the family that changes the alternate direction, what are you going to want to use that for to go farther in? You already do the acting, you already do that kind of stuff. How is that going to help pursue extra outside wrestling dreams?
I mean, so I don't want to, I hate to even give air to it because I'm doing everything in my power right now to turn this into a career with every aspect of my life. I have made so many sacrifices up until this point in order to get to the position that I'm in now at my career, only 10 months in. In terms of a fallback plan, I mean, I don't know where my college career is going to take me, but some kind of field where I'm speaking, some kind of management role, working in a high end in a company somewhere. I love talking to people. I love getting to know people and their stories and their backgrounds, why people think the way they think, looking at not just my own perspective, but the perspective of others and trying to look at situations objectively. So if I can turn that into a career, then I would love to do that. But my focus 24/7 at the moment is how do I turn professional wrestling into a career, and how do I become the very best within professional wrestling?
Let's keep that passion alive, man.
Absolutely. So as far as where you've wrestled so far, as far as states, and of course you've Diamond Championship Wrestling is in Alabama. You also wrestled in Florida, and of course with Tennessee Championship Wrestling. So you've got 3 states under your belt so far. Is there any particular promotions and or states that you're maybe got in mind that you got a target set on to display your in-ring talents, and have you set any certain goals to help achieve them along the way?
Yeah, so I want to work with everybody and anyone. There's not one company or professional wrestler in this business that I'm opposed to working with, because I think at the end of the day, the goal is to bring everybody together, to work together, to make as much money as possible, and to give the fans an entertaining product. So if there's a company that wants to work with me, I'll work with them. In terms of the highest goal, I think everybody that gets into this business at one point wants to try their hand at the top promotion in the world, and we all know what that is. So I want to continue to work, but in order to get even close to that level, I have to continue to work. I have to continue to prove my worth to the fans, to the other wrestlers, the promotions, and my peers. I have to show them that I do take this seriously, and to me, this is not a joke. This is not a game. And I have to continue to go out and show everybody every single time why I am worth the investment, and why taking a shot on Jack Passion is worth it for your company and for your fan base. I am in this to make everybody better, and I want to make everybody money and do what is right for the business of professional wrestling. So to answer your question, everybody and anybody.
Yeah, because I know that you're aligned with AIWF, and I don't know, Matt Classic threw your name out. Well, at least he threw it out there. You were the one that wanted to take the opportunity to come on here, since we're kind of affiliated with them, because we like to push whatever they've got going on, and we've got a lot of other guys that are lined up for that. But I mean, the AIWF can go with different regions here. You know, we've got like their national champion, Superstar Steve, just defended the title yesterday at Melee at the Midway. So the national title was up for grabs, and that went to a time limit draw. And so I mean, we've got guys out there in the AIWF that are going to different places. You know, down in Texas, down and over in the Carolinas, down you know, even the West Coast. If you get to that AIWF channel, you're going to go in different places here that people will be able to see your talents, and you know, so as long as you got an avenue to do it, and things are a lot easier in this day and age, to be honest, because you know, in my day, we didn't have, well, we were just getting into the internet, but you know, I had to wait like 3 minutes before I actually made a connection. You know, that's how,
those old dial-up computers. Oh, no, I've been there too. Those old dial-up computers, they're no joke. They taught you real patience.
Yeah, I got a 256K modem, man. I'm going to get really fast now. I mean,
and we complain when we don't have a gig.
Right? Yeah, like I got a big tower to like hard drive is like only 4 gigabytes. So I mean, it's like,
so something that I like to touch on, and it might be thanks to Cody. We'll just say it, like thanks to Cody Rhodes for doing it when he got kicked out of WWE and took his ball and betted on himself, as they like to say, and thank God he did. But he came off a list, right, of achievements and stuff, and Xavier Woods, one of his achievements, and everybody backstage always talks about how he wanted to be king of the ring, all that kind of stuff. Like that was legitimately something that he wanted to accomplish in the business. What are some of your dream matches, achievements, or championships that you want to win within this business? What are some of the main goals, you know, just for that feather in the cap?
So immediately, I would like to become the Diamond Championship Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship. I would like to represent the promotion that has trained me and given me the opportunity to turn professional wrestling into a career. And I want to put my promotion on the map, and I want to do everything I can to show them and the fans and the wrestlers that I care about this company and this business. And I think it would be a great honor to be afforded the opportunity to show off the company that has given me the chance to be who I am today. Long-term goals, I'd like to be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I think that I possess a certain set of skills that would translate to that stage and that environment. And I think that the fans of professional wrestling can understand what I bring to the table and see that I am the passion of professional wrestling. And there is no higher achievement than becoming the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And if I'm ever so lucky to make it to that stage, that is the ultimate goal, to be recognized as the person that can carry a company and do what is right for the business of World Wrestling Entertainment. I think that's the highest honor in this business.
I mean, I can't argue or disagree at all. And it is nice to have the short time goal plus the long time goal. So having that balance is a beautiful thing. Like one of my goals, and I'll say it right here, I don't care, is to hopefully one day do commentary for Herb Simmons at SICW. That is legitimately one of my current goals. I work for IEW right now, Illinois Elite Wrestling, and I love that promotion. I love what I'm doing there with it. So to be able to have that goal for that, awesome. And I truly believe one day it's going to happen. But then going from there, hey, the sky's the limit. I'm ready to talk and do whatever I have to do it. What then would be some of your dream matches? Who's some of the guys you want to grace the ring with?
Who are the greats?
I mean, that's very arguably.
I believe that I can go out there and handle myself with anybody in this business, and I think that I can perform at a very high level, even at this stage of my career. And I want to go out and I want to test myself against the very best in professional wrestling. And I'm not in this to be in the lower card. I'm not in this to be in the mid card. I am in this to be in the main event of every wrestling show. If I'm afforded that opportunity, I truly do want to be the best. Now, am I the best right now? Hell no. I mean, I am so far from it, it hurts. But I believe that by committing to the craft and continuing to listen to my peers and the fans and finding what works and what doesn't work, I think there's a real opportunity to one day look back and go, all of this work led to you becoming one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. And that's going to take, it's going to take a lifetime to do it, but I'm prepared to do it. And I'm prepared to put my nose down, get back to work like I'm going to do when we get off this call. I'm going to go home. I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to shower. I'm going to eat. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to eat. I'm going to go to the gym and then go on with the rest of my day. And it's a constant grind in order to be the best and to be recognized as the best. But to do anything other than fight for the top spot in this business would be selling myself and my ability short. And I think there's a real chance to become a great, and that's not going to happen overnight, but there's a real possibility that I connect with people in a very different way and tell stories in a very different way than has been done in the past. I mean, I watch wrestling all the time and I see what works and what doesn't work, and things that don't work, I want to see how you can twist those things and make it work. And the things that already work, I look at and go, okay, that's amazing. But how can I take that one step further? How do I take people on that ride and really keep them engaged? And really, whether I'm being cheered or being booed, it's kind of like what we talked about with Cena earlier. How do you get people to react? How do you get people to buy into what you're selling? And I think one day I'll be able to do that at the highest level. And I think I'll be able to do it better than anybody else. Right now, not the case. But over time, I think I'll be able to do it.
I mean, I think you're discrediting yourself a little bit for the now, my dude, because Mama Passion and Papa Passion are definitely proud that they passed that name on to you, because you have the passion for the business and have the love for excelling at a level only that you could, man, because you harness that name in everything that is. And it's so pleasure to get to talk to you today.
I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, awesome. So, we got a fun question here. And that's I think that's the only last one we're going to have here for you. But like I see, you've got a minor degree in theater, and you've also worked in the dramatic arts while you're in New York City here. So obviously, you've been on stage for about 20 years. So obviously, you know how to read a script. You know how to act. So hypothetically, if there was down the road, if there's a movie made about you and your wrestling career, what plot would you have set for the movie, and who would portray you in the leading role? And would you have any other supporting roles in this film? And if so, who would they be?
Well, I think the only person that can really tell my story is me. And I would treat it kind of like an 8 Mile situation where you had Marshall Mathers represent himself and act as himself and tell his own story. Um, I think in order to tell it right and be truthful to the context of what I went through and what I've been through already, I think it would have to be me. If there was another actor that came along and was able to play my life better than I would be able to play it, then hey, I would. I'm not opposed to if there's someone that is better at me than something else, I want them to do it, and I want to learn from them. So I think that the story would not be as straightforward as people think. I've been through my fair share of things in my life, and to be in the position I am now in my career and to be able to talk to you two is such a blessing, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity. But the story is not straightforward, and the actor I don't think is there yet. And if they come along and somebody is cast and I think they would be a great fit for the role, then by all means I would love for them to portray my life. But right now I'm still building it. I'm fairly young. I'm still trying to get a hang of not just professional wrestling, but life and my career. And I think that once that story is told, it'll be one of the greatest stories of all time.
There you go. Who would know this story more better than you? So obviously, you want to step into that spotlight, that get your name out there, get notified, get notarized, and let people know who you are. And if you can tell a story great, and since you're going to know all the details, some just like this past holidays, some people like the Iron Claw and then some don't, and the ones that don't really know what the Von Erich story really was. And everybody's like, "Where's Chris? Where's Chris?" Well, to be honest, I think they should have done a biopic on that instead of assigning all these actors and for these Canadian filmmakers to try and make an extra buck somehow. That
I think, and I'm sorry not to cut you off. I apologize, but I think
you're good.
I think one of the things that I would, if I was to do that, I think I would rather have it be a documentary of some kind, and that way I can give people the full context of my journey and not dramatize certain aspects of my life. I want people to know how I got to where I got, and I want to give them the good, the bad, and the ugly. Am I ready to share all of that right now? No. But when the time is right, I would like for people to know how I got here and what I had to do, the mistakes that I made, and maybe somebody sits down and watches it and goes, okay, if he made that mistake and then was able to rebound, or those things happened to him and he was able to find a way through it, then maybe I can too. Or maybe they go, well, that was dumb. Maybe I shouldn't do that. And maybe I'll have an easier road than Jack Passion had. And at the end of the day, I would hope for that more than anything else. If somebody saw or listened to my story and went, okay, that's a good story, but this is where he messed up, I'm going to learn from that, and I'm not going to make that same mistake. If people can learn from my story and be better for it, then that's all that really matters.
That's what everybody wants anyway, is just to be that respectable individual so other people can learn from. And I've had my shortcomings 100%. I'm in one of those moments right now, in growing out of it and trying to build myself bigger. So it's just continuing to push and go above what you were yesterday. And that's what it is. I really can't wait to see what Hulk Hogan's little movie is. If that's still a thing. Is that still a thing?
I don't know. Because I didn't know if they had I don't know if they cast the lead for that or if
it was Chris. It was Thor.
Oh, Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. I know it's Chris, but yeah, Thor's supposed to be Hulk Hogan, bro.
Huh.
That's why I want to see it.
Well, like I said, for these films, they should put in here for entertainment purposes only, because we're gonna try to tell the story, but we know that we don't have it out 100%. So it's like that Iron Claw movie, it's like, yeah, okay. It's like, well, they gave it a good shot. Zac Efron got a paycheck. Years.
He's one of my favorites.
Oh man, but no, we appreciate you coming on here, Jack. Where can people find you on social media? What kind of shows you have coming up? Let people know where they can find you and online. Then if they want to come out and see you, where are you at next?
So I am on. So in terms of social media, I'm on YouTube, Jack Passion 2023. I am on Facebook, Jack Passion 2023. Instagram, Jack Passion 2023. Twitter, Jack Passion 2023, and TikTok, Jack Passion 2023. And I am going to be wrestling every weekend up until July 27th. And on my pages, I have we put out a Summer of Passion. Me and my team put out a little poster. So I will be competing this weekend for Diamond Championship Wrestling. Next weekend, I will be in Hazel Green, Alabama for Rocket City Championship Wrestling. And then the week after that, I'll be back with Diamond Championship Wrestling. And we're just going every weekend right up until the end of the summer. Like I said, having 12 weekends straight of wrestling, and we're not even a full year into my career, it's an amazing opportunity to learn, to get those reps, to go out and be in front of new people, and to continue to get better at this business and become the best professional wrestler that Jack Passion can be. And if you don't know already, you're about to find out.
I love the passion. I love it. You've made a fan out of the Zmiz.
You guys are awesome. Thank you for this. This will be fun.
I'm glad you had fun, man. Tell your friends.
Matt, let's say when Matt sent you our way, it's like, hey, we're always going to take care of somebody. Like I said, we're going to have another guy here next week, and we're going to have fun with them.
Well, see, that's what I think we do, and not that nobody else is doing bad, because I love watching Teddy Long, Mac Davis. I think Kofi and Hornswoggle just had a sit down that Austin Cage was telling me about. That is a must go see. So like, there's so many people out there doing great podcasts right now, but we have that beautiful balance of like Ruby having the knowledge and GQ having the knowledge from it being in the business so long. I'm fresh. I'm brand new. I'm a baby in the business, 4 or 5 years, and a lifelong fan. Like I say I mark out all the time, because I do. Like that's how much I love this industry and this business and everything about it. Is I just watch wrestling. So we have this beautiful blend of like just love and passion for you and all these other new up-and-comers and current wrestlers, and just it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a wonderful thing to see. So keep kicking ass, man. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. And really quick, for anybody who is interested in getting into the professional wrestling business, you'll never know how good you are if you don't give it a try. Just try, give it a shot, commit yourself to a certain lifestyle, and give this business a shot. It's not going to be easy. It's not a cakewalk. It comes with its ups and downs. But at the end of the day, it is absolutely worth every second that you get to be a part of this business. And if you have the opportunity to get involved in professional wrestling in any way, please do so. This business is growing. It's only getting bigger. It's getting hotter. And I am so excited to see what the future holds, not only for myself, but the rest of professional wrestling. And it is a very good time to be a fan of what we're doing. And if you're not a fan already, boy, you are going to be in for a treat, especially when this new Netflix deal rolls around with WWE. I mean, God. you want to talk about truly setting the bar at a whole new level. We are about to witness something so special and so unique in our lifetime, and I cannot wait for that to kick in. I think it's going to be incredible. I think the landscape of professional wrestling is about to change, and nobody's going to be truly ready for the future of this business, and that is exciting.
I couldn't say it any better.
I know. I'm just kind of interested to see how the Netflix streaming channels are going to work. But I don't know if
My
there's any of those
curiosity,
channels now.
my curiosity on it is who do you think follows? Because like TNA is putting a lot of effort, and they just dropped their YouTube stuff, right? So they
Yeah,
don't have the
they're only
subscription
on
stuff in
TNA
YouTube
Plus
now. They have TNA Plus, and that's the only way to really get them right now. So who do you think follows suit? I mean, there's indie companies that are pushing that, and then there's the whole was it Fight TV, right? Where
Yeah,
all
there's
multiple, yeah. So there's that program and stuff where you can get GCW, and GCW's been killing it. And that's not one of my go-to promotions. But man, they're really making me like, maybe I should start watching them, kind of thing. Like so, I've always been like, I just see what they do. Like MLW is doing great stuff on YouTube. So there's so many promotions out there that are just biting at these different new opportunities. And I'm curious to see what happens with WWE and this big movement to Netflix, and who kind of follows suit to a big platform streaming service. So it is a really interesting time.
We are very lucky to be living in the time that we're living now. Professional wrestling is about to be hotter than it has ever been, and there's no better time to get into this business than to become a fan. And we are so lucky to live in the world that we live in now, where we are about to witness what I feel is an entirely different WWE, and it's going to be even bigger and better than it's ever been in the history of the company. And I think everybody in the business, top to bottom, is about to benefit from it. Man, what a special life that we get to live talking about professional wrestling and being involved in the business. There truly is nothing better in terms of live entertainment than what we get to watch and enjoy and work every single week. It's the best thing in the world.
Yeah. Others are going to gravitate towards YouTube, which is where we're on every Sunday night. Lord knows the network
And
will
X.
pick up our show. That's for damn sure. So,
Dude, I think I have a feeling we're going to be picking up.
yeah. At least we're being picked up on X quite a bit these past 2 weeks. So
Thank you again, X.
Yeah, thank you again, X. Yes, and yeah, but man, like I said, Jack, I mean, it's a pleasure to talk with you, man. It's great that man, I loving your drive, loving your passion, loving your attitude toward the business. You definitely have some great people that's leading you down this path, and you're at a great place to do training. And like I said, I definitely see a lot of great opportunities heading your way. Like I said, I know you're putting in the work. You just can't stop at it. So, and I think you know that. So, well, once again, I mean, I'd like to thank you for coming on. And like I said, best of luck to you. Looking to hear some good things to see where you go. And hopefully this gets better from here.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate the opportunity to come on today. This has been awesome. Thank you very much.
No
All
problem.
right, Jack,
Thank you, man.
You have a good rest of your night, man.
Thank you. You
Safe
too.
drives.
Have a good one, fellas. Thank you.
Later.
Appreciate it. Bye.
Oh, my bad.
That's all right. That's all
double
right.
bow they do at the end of take 2 bows, man. Take 2 bows.
Dude, the passion in that man is just crazy. Like, I know it's his last name, but holy shit. I love it, man. And I was telling you in the chat, remember how I was telling you about his rap battle. I can't remember what the hell the line was, but it was so good, and I sent it off to you. And I was trying to find it because I wanted to bring it back up. But the dude is amazing. Like, go out and check out Jack Passion. Please, please, for the love of God, go look this guy up, because he deserves every subscribe. He deserves every click, because his stuff is just that fun to watch.
Yep. Yes. Jack Passion 2023. That's 2023. Jack Passion 2023. And on all those platforms. So Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, everything. So just love to hear that.
It was I'm like Lady Gaga. I'm here for the applause. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That was the line. That line was so beautiful, bro.
Yeah, well, here for the applause. Here for the applause. Absolutely. We got a couple things we want to touch on here, and I know that we may come back to what we talked up here, but there's some kind of I'm a little shaken up about, bro, and I'm going to bring this up here right now. This kind of got my goat a little. This is before the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. I guess they had a media scrum before. But we have to bring this up here because I have to wonder. I don't think this is really a work. I think this woman is in her own mind. Mercedes Moné saying, "I'm the greatest women's wrestler of all time." Do you know how big of a statement that is, and yet being said with not much thought to it at all, other than just to try to put yourself over? There's so many names I could think of besides Mercedes Moné.
I mean, I hung out with one of them just 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
yeah. No. Okay, I try to be unbiased, and I try to really look at every person for their own individuality and their own style and their own charisma aspects and whatnot. But this is one person that I cannot, for some love and reason, I cannot get behind whatsoever. I can't stand her. Everything about her irritates me. And I try, like I said, even when we talk wrestling, Allie, she's a great, great person there. She's a big fan of her, and I respect that she is, and I will continue to respect that. Her and I go back and forth about it, but I try not to let her live rent-free in my head. Not Sasha, but my Monet. But she's just so bad, dude. And to have her go, this is something that irritates me too, is her first match. For one, AEW's always tried to talk about some ranking system, right? The ranking system that's fully BS and out the window.
Right.
She goes to the TBS title on her first match just to have Willow Nightingale, who is arguably a woman that's been scratching, clawing, fighting, and is legitimately so much fun to watch in the ring.
Yep.
Get pinned not only to the next week, so not even 3 days separating the two. She pins freaking Sky Blue. What the
right?
What? Oh my god, dude! No, those women worked their asses off for that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that Monet hasn't. Okay, so I'm not saying that she's not put in the work, because she has. She's gotten better, and I will say that first and foremost. She's not gotten better like Nia Jax. I'll tell you that right now. Nia Jax is legitimately putting in work and doing some real stuff that I'm like, oh my god, I'm kind of getting behind you. I'm kind of enjoying you. That's somebody that I used to bash all the time because she's not an Awesome Kong.
Yeah.
You know, she's not a Bull Canyon. She has the shape, but honey, you ain't them yet. And if she gets there, I will eat my shoe. But this woman, to say that she lives up to Eddie Guerrero, all that kind of stuff, you are full of shit. I don't give a crap if that's your favorite wrestler. I respect that it is. I respect that you love him so much that you want to idolize him and emulate him. But you are not, by any means, especially in the world of professional wrestling right now, when there are so many, Kairi Sane, Asuka Sky, Jordan Grace, Nikki James, the list goes on and on. I'm missing so many. There's so many women right now that legitimately, like Charlotte Flair, even Austin, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, okay? Take it back. Even Becky Lynch is a better freaking character than this dumb broad. And I hate to say it like that because I want to support all wrestling, but here's the real thing. Here's the real thing, okay? Let's strip it away, okay? Let's strip it away. What was Jack Passion talking about just now about John Cena, right? Okay? Right. She gets a reaction from everybody. She legitimately does. She's getting a reaction from you and I right now. So she's doing something right, guys. So as much as I want to hate the woman, and I don't hate the woman because I can't. I don't know her, and hate's a strong word. I dislike her intensely on my TV. I like her as an actress. Put her back in Star Wars. I had a blast with her in Mandalorian. So like, she has a thing, but as a wrestler, no, honey, you are not the greatest professional wrestling. You are far from it. And if one day you actually do, and I go, you know what, Mercedes Moné, damn, I was wrong. I'll say that right on TV. But for now, no. Go back to the back of the line. You don't even deserve the TBS title.
Yeah, I just got one question for her.
Got any cheese?
No, but the whole thing is that I've seen this woman perform, and I've seen her with fans. There's been viral videos that are about fans, even with meet and greets, getting autographs, whatever. And and it's not with her being in like, even if she was like heel and being in heel mode, like trying to work. This woman has got a problem. And even with her being a face, I'm telling you now, I've seen with my own eyes at a WWE live event back in like at the end of 16 when she was on the freaking Raw roster as a face. Everybody loved her. Everybody was reaching out to try to give her like high five her or whatever. She did everything she could to do her stupid dance moves, to dance around people. She literally danced around people for her to not touch her, and did as a face. She didn't care. She didn't want anything to do with them. I'm like, why are you a face if you're not going to at least high five somebody? I mean, are you a germaphobe? I mean, what the hell? So, I mean, you're a germaphobe to the fans, but you can go and compete and with somebody else's sweat inside the ring. I mean, that makes no sense whatsoever. So until this woman shows that she's actually compassionate to the fans instead of herself, she can take her freaking statement and shove it where the sun don't shine, because I'm tired of seeing this. This is the only reactions like this is not good.
I also don't think no wrestler. I don't care if you're Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, no wrestler, and even those guys don't do it, but no wrestler says they're the best.
Right. I'm the greatest. Well, I mean, maybe Ric Flair may have a case for that.
That's a different story, because even Undertaker said in a podcast, they're talking, I can't remember the podcast that he was on, but one of the guys on there, they're talking about the Mount Rushmores, and he's like, I'm a WCW guy, and then the other guy was a WWF guy, and he's like, so who's your guy? And he's like, well, Ric Flair. Ric Flair's my guy, right? And when you think of Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling, when you're looking at the whole over scheme, it starts almost with Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan. I don't care who you are. I'm not even a Hogan fan. But those are the guys that made wrestling notable in the bigger scheme of everything. Yes, the greats before, Los Fez, all those guys, they did their part in making wrestling a passionate sport, but those are the guys that brought it into the real mainstream upper echelon of TV land and all that kind of stuff. So those guys are easily Mount Rushmore material, like no questions asked. But Undertaker then goes on and says nothing about himself, because that's humility. That's being humble. Right. This woman is not humble, and that's one of my issues with her. Like, if you think you're the greatest, fine, prove it in the ring. But don't say it on screen. Don't say it in a podcast. Don't say it to a fan at an airport that's trying to get your autograph. So, no, you're not. I'm sorry. You're not. None of us can be that way.
No. You have to be humble, and you have to have somebody else tell the audience that, yes, this person is the greatest of all time. You can't call yourself the greatest of all time. What have you accomplished? I mean, and I've made a point here that she's won the WWE Women's title, like Raw title, like on 4 occasions, but then on her very first defense, she goes ahead and loses it. So
she's a transitional champion.
Yeah, like I said, it's just like, it's transitional pipes. Everybody's got to flush something down once in a while.
She puts her her chant is literally in her music.
And the funny thing is, I thought that was literally, I thought that was a little, I thought that was the actual crowd saying that. I'm like, I heard it again. I was like, that's her damn music with the chants. I mean, my God. But no, okay. Put yourself in a triple threat against Rhea and Jordynne Grace and see if you can make it.
Oh, they're going to destroy her, bro.
Oh, my God. I would, dude, take my money now, because I would so do anything to see that. Just take my money
in there
now.
So she get annihilated.
Mommy would stomp a whole partner youth in her entrance. I'm sorry, bro. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway. You got enough tag. You got your reaction. You got your time. Now we're moving on. So for our next one, Adam Copeland vacates the TNT title due to injury. So this was at Double or Nothing in this cage match that he had. I keep forgetting who he faced.
Aleister Black or Malachi.
Oh, right.
Sorry.
Yeah, Malachi.
Malachi.
Yes.
Yeah. But, okay, so all in all, like, I finally got to go back and watch that match. Awesome match. I enjoyed it. I mean, we had nostalgia, we had Gangrel, we had all of House of Black. Like, everything was hitting, and then he went to the top of the cage. And Adam, I love you, buddy. Edge, you're one of my favorite wrestlers. Like, you're one of the guys that I love to chant when everybody else is booing the crap out of you. But you're just not top of the cage material anymore, my dude.
No, here's the thing. He went to the top of that scaffold above the cage and he jumped. But what he did is he planted both feet on the mat. If you're going to jump about 15 feet high, I'm sorry. You got to choose a different part of your body to take the fall. And whether it be on an opponent, whether it be on like a sea of opponents, like a group of opponents, or through like a couple tables. But you can't plant your feet directly straight down on the mat. I mean, he almost did a Sid Vicious. I mean,
oh my God! Don't even. Yeah. Why would you bring that up?
No, I hate bringing it up. I hate talking about it. But he was lucky he didn't get it that bad. But it's only his tibia that he broke, and so
it's not broken. I don't think. I think it was a fracture, if not mistaken. Well, man, he still has to have surgery on it. So surgery is still a thing. He had to vacate the title. They're doing a tournament now in AEW for it. I still love him. I'm enjoying what he's doing over there. I was really hoping like that stuff would, because he was trying to say that he was going to take over the House of Black and all this kind of stuff, and they're really kind of starting to. It was starting to hit, it was starting to really move and start to really be enjoyable, because it really just felt like him and Christian palling around. And as much as I want to see that, I don't want to see that at the same time. Like, so I didn't really care for the feud with him and Christian at the time. But now it really feels like was starting to move into something. It just sucks that it had to be this way. Hopefully when he comes back, he kills it. Because, like I said, Edge is one of my favorite wrestlers. Adam Copeland. I was an E&C kid, so they were my dudes. And to see them on a different stage doing different things that you didn't think you'd get to see them do, I'm all for. I say we still need an Edge salute for the ending of the show. But, Adam, don't go to the top of the cage again. That's all I'm saying, brother.
What did you say? You want to salute?
Oh, we still got to salute him. It's Edge, man.
We do? Oh.
Yeah,
well,
we still...
We do? Oh, okay. We'll get ready for it. How about it? Let's go right now.
Yes. God, I love the Edge Allegiance.
Gotta do that Edge of Allegiance. Sorry.
Like I said, he's still one of my favorite wrestlers, and to see him continuing to do what he loves and being able to do something that we thought he wasn't going to be able to do, I'm not going to knock him for that. I'm just going to knock you for, you're 50, bro. You're not. I can't really say that because Sting was jumping off all kinds of shit. So.
And I just want to make a gentle reminder that I'm also near this plateau, sir. So, I mean,
like I said,
I'm going to be climbing a freaking scaffold. And
are you jumping off? Yeah.
Unless I want to blow out both knees.
No, that's it. I want to see you versus Danny Ice right now in a steel cage, and you're going to finally do that moonsault off the top of the cage.
You're going to see me break the damn neck is what you're going to see. That's what you're going to see.
But no, I'm sorry, Edge. I'm sorry, Adam, that we're having kind of a fun poke at you. But all in all, it was a good weekend. We had, King and Queen of the Ring, which was an amazing show. It was fabulous fun. And then Double or Nothing. I've only caught like a couple of their matches because I went and just picked and choose what I wanted to watch. But all in all, the show was great. MJF made his return. Thank God. Now we have the heart and soul. And I'm going to say it right now again. I got yelled at on We Talk Wrestling for calling MJF the heart and soul of AEW because they're like, oh, John Moxley is. No, John Moxley's not.
No, he's not. John
MJF is literally what AEW was built to be, and it was supposed to be designed for the new guys coming up, and it was supposed to be that kind of thing. Does John Moxley have his place 100%? Does Adam Cole have his place 100%? Because you got to have the old with the new guys. You have to have the blending of the two to where the passing the torches, the whole knowledge passing down. But MJF represents the hungry new generation of professional wrestling, and nobody can change my opinion on that because MJF's that damn good.
There you go. And well, like I hopefully somebody was saying they got a picture of him there because his gear looks like he's bringing out his inner Triple H.
Who did it better?
Who did it better?
Yeah,
with that dark plaid and that jean jacket or whatever, it's like, oh my gosh, that's.
I liked it. I was all for it, and then he went right after Adam Cole because supposedly Adam Cole's still not ready to go by any means, and that kind of sucks.
Crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
But maybe Vince was right about him.
Yeah.
He should have been a manager, Butch.
So NXT is this Tuesday. Jordan Grace, by the way, is going to be facing off against Stevie Turner.
That's who it was. Yeah.
So that's her exhibition match, and so Roxanne Perez will get a good bird's eye view on what's to be. Now, what we'll probably do is I know I brought up the whole graphic of the Worlds Collide and everything else. I think we're probably best to talk about that maybe toward the end of next week because you never know what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, that's something we might
see the ending of Battleground next week. So we're going to be seeing that at some point. So we'll know if Jordan Grace is going to be Jordan Two Belts or something else is going to happen. But I think that we're going to be in for something with TNA. And will TNA merge with guys from the main roster, or is this with NXT?
All I know is this is all I want to hear one day in NXT happen. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Oh man, it's possible, bro. It's possible.
He's one of my he's always been so good, and they're going into Clash of Champions, so everybody's like, he needs to show up at Clash of Champions. He needs to show up at Clash of Champions because he's from Scotland. So,
yeah.
So, but he's so much fun over there, and what they're doing at TNA, and I'm so pumped because I don't watch TNA as a whole. I catch you can go on YouTube for people that don't have the funds right now to get TNA Plus, all that kind of stuff. They are doing a subscription program where they move if people are moving over from YouTube to TNA. That there is, I can't remember what the code is now off my top of my head, but Santino Marella talks about it. You put the code in, you get the first 2 pay-per-views for free, etc. But TNA's been doing some great stuff. So this merger, this partnership between TNA and NXT, and the fact that people are legitimately raving about NXT again, or hyped for it, and NXT just showed you don't know what's going to happen on NXT now either. So that's freaking awesome to see WWE on all 3 of their cylinders running so beautifully and smoothly. I can't wait to see what professional wrestling brings us.
Yep. We'll just have to see, so for this upcoming weekend, we'll see what NXT Battleground brings us. We will, see what Raw and SmackDown brings us. Also with AEW. I'm also should pay attention to TNA as well because you never know what TNA may be talking about WWE or NXT in that retrospect as well. All right, we're going to go ahead and end it here, guys. We thank you very much for joining us here tonight. We thank Jack Passion for coming on. Next week, we will have another guest. We've got one lined up, but just look to our Facebook page. for the announcement of our next guest next week. And of course, the same time. And it will be officially episode number 149 next week. So, and hopefully we'll have GQ here. Hopefully he'll get out of the funk he's in. I know not feeling good is it sucks, but I think we'll be getting better over the course of time this upcoming week. So hopefully he'll be on as well. But I think that's it.
I got one more thing. When you go on YouTube, Facebook, anything, make sure you're hitting that like, that plus up, that subscribe button. Save that stuff. Do all the buttons pushing things. We need your help to keep pushing us. So if you like hearing us every Sunday night, like, share, subscribe, do the buttons, and we will be here again next weekend. Go ahead, Ruby. Close us out, brother.
That's right. Yeah. And also that's for everywhere. That's Facebook, YouTube, especially X for all those X viewers. Make sure you're spreading the word and also making sure you're following us as well on X at FCE Podcast.
Yes.
And we're going to have hopefully we'll have some more announcements for you next week about things we're doing and upcoming. But until then, enjoy this upcoming week. Enjoy your first full week of June. It's still late in the spring days, but it's going to get warmer. So stay cool, stay hydrated as always in these warmer temperatures. And just stay safe. And until then, we will see you back here next Sunday at 9 p.m. Central Time. So for the Gem City Zmiz, I am Rough Cut Rick Ruby. Thanks for tuning in tonight to episode number 148 of the False Gun Everywhere podcast. Have a great upcoming week, and we'll see you next Sunday. Bye for now, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in to tonight's episode of the False Counts Everywhere podcast. Don't forget our friends at the following. Keeping It Cool with Tyler Cooley, the Squared Ring Podcast, and We Talk Wrestling. The False Counts Everywhere podcast is an LTX Enterprises production.